Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today I wanted to talk about a recent study that I read that showed that 51% of Americans making $100,000 or more are actually living paycheck to paycheck. This means that they're struggling to make ends meet month to month. Now I think that if you make $130,000 or more, regardless of where you live in the country, you should be able to be comfortable. That means that you're not really balling, but you're also not losing sleep at night. Now, if you live within your means, this is enough money for you to be comfortable, even if you have a family. Now, I know there are external factors that impact this statement with high inflation right now. Cost of living is so high, so $100,000 looks very different in different areas of the country. And then, if you have children, for example, childcare could be more expensive than your mortgage or your rent month to month. Now, I realize there are these factors. However, there are two things that I think impact this statement that are within your control, and that if you make a few adjustments, you can be more comfortable month to month when you're not struggling and you're not losing sleep at night. The first factor that feeds into this statement is lifestyle creep, where as you make more money, you tend to spend more money, and sometimes you spend more than you're actually making. So, how does this look? You get a promotion, you get a raise at work, you immediately start to spend more because in your mind, you're making more money. Now, maybe you move to a different neighborhood, so you're living in a more expensive neighborhood. You buy a more luxurious car. Your kids are now in private schools. You sign them up for many, many activities that tend to be more expensive. So you're spending more than you're actually making without realizing it. And so you're never comfortable because you're not living within your means. The second factor is bad money habits, where things that used to be wants have now become needs because as you make more money, you want to be more comfortable. So, for example, that money paddy that you get every other week, you have brunch with your friends every week, every weekend. So a weekend could run you up to $500 between brunch, dinner, your mani-pedi, and shopping. Now, $500 spent every weekend translates to $2,000 in a month. And then when you sit down at the end of the month and you look at where your money goes, you can't really understand why are you not comfortable? Why is it that you're making more money, but you're not happier? Because, we always associate money with happiness, where you're more comfortable, meaning then you're not worrying too much about money, but you're making more money and your stress levels are actually going high. Now, I think that there are things you can do immediately to sort of try to resolve this disconnect between your income and your spending habits so that you can be happier. The first thing I would recommend is to sit down and look at your credit card statement or your bank statement and look at exactly what you're spending your money on. Now, most credit card statements will actually put your spend in buckets, so it will show if you spend your money on food, travel, entertainment, shopping. It will show exactly where your money went. And if you look at these buckets month to month, you can identify things that you can cut back on to make yourself more comfortable. I mean, if you're making more money, your money should work for you. And if you're spending money on things that you don't necessarily need, then those are areas you can cut back on. The second thing is to actually do a budget. So after you review what you spend your money on, now sit down and do a budget where you identify things that are essential, that are fixed expenses like your mortgage, utilities, your groceries every month, your childcare. Identify those things that won't change month to month because they're not within your control. And then also identify things that are variable. So this would be the things that you like to spend your money on that you don't want to give up. And then when you look at your income versus these things that you have identified as expenses month to month, you're able to say, hey, this is how much I have and this is what I can spend and I can't go over. And that means you have peace of mind because you're not spending more than you make and you're not living paycheck to paycheck because now you're controlling how your money works for you. That thing that you can do to improve your stress levels, improve your quality of life because of money is to identify things that you can cut back on. So maybe do you need two luxury cars? Maybe you can give up one car. Do you need two cars if you have two normal cars? Maybe you just need one car. Is there an opportunity to change cities or to move from the city that you currently live in to live within your budget? Now, a lot of people find themselves house poor because you spend so much money on your mortgage month to month that it's beyond the income that you make. So maybe think about that, especially with how interest rates were in the past few years. There may be an opportunity for you to move to a different city and maybe spend less on your mortgage month to month and maybe have a little bit peace of mind, because if you live in a house that you actually don't enjoy because of how much you pay for it, what's the benefit in that? And lastly is to have somebody who holds you accountable. So this could be your spouse, this could be a friend that actually gives you a check and says, hey, do we actually need to go out all the time? Maybe we can have a meal indoors today. Do we actually need to buy this thing that I really want to buy? Is it something I really need? Have somebody who can hold you accountable. And at the end of the week, journal what you do with your money. And I think it's always nice to do an internal check where you ask yourself, does this make me happy? Does spending money this way actually make me happy? Or am I just trying to catch up with everything that everyone else is doing? Are these things essential to me? Do I need that money penny? Do I need to have brunch every other week? Cut back on those things. These things are not necessarily bad things, but maybe you don't need to do them as often as you currently do them. So if you can improve the quality of your life by managing the stress that you have because of money, I think that gives you monumental benefits. And that way, your money works for you versus the other way around. If you like this video, please like, share, and to subscribe. Thank you.